Hello, I am back again with another video. So hello guys. I'm gonna make a video about the difference between spirituality as well as and the religion. Yes, spirituality and religion, it can come off as something that is actually the same, but it's not actually the same. So I've been thinking about making this video, but I just want to be more based on my authenticity, on my own perspective. Of course, I have my phone here, so that means I'm gonna actually quote some certain terms, so why not? So for me, I think I've been, no, I don't think I actually made a video about why I'm actually not religious. So I told myself, you know what, let me just continue on that and share my own perspective around spirituality and why I'm actually okay. I've mentioned that why I'm not religious. So okay, this is my authenticity. There are actually a lot of definition about this topic, so that's why I'm just gonna allow myself to be authentic, to share what I actually resonate with in terms of defining the certain word. So it's just me and my perspective, my own truth, not the other way around. So for me, when I define spiritual as well as religious, obviously there are actually two different things. Spiritual as well as religion, it's two different things, and I like to more I gravitate toward spirituality rather than a religion as a whole. So um spirituality for me, it's whereby you walk your own path. It's more like a personal spiritual path. You walk your own path to connect with the divine source, God, um universe, whatever term that you choose that resonate with you, with higher power, if you mean higher power. For me, I just use spirit, divine spirit as well as universe, because I feel like I resonate more with those terms, but you can actually make how it actually resonate with you, and you can feel this is actually you prefer to define it the way you choose to define. So you walk in your own path, spiritual path, with actually with no reference from anybody in terms of religion, and in any way. So what do? You walk your own path, having your own personal experience. While you actually having your own personal experience, obviously make you come closer to spirit, because we are the spirits before anything. We are actually spirit before our body. We were soul before we become humans. So that's how I define, because I'm walking my own path. I'm actually having this karmic experience in this lifetime. As I'm having this lifetime, I'm walking this path in order for me, it helps me to connect with divine, uh spirit, universe. So walking my own path, that means I'm actually connecting the way I know it makes sense to me. I can use my own personal experience, or maybe gravitate toward reading a psychological book or whatever book, whether it's a romantic book, fantasy, whatsoever, that actually help me, because I don't just get information only through books. I also get information through a lot of YouTube channel, people who actually YouTube channel. I get a lot of information through people who actually tarot readers on YouTube. There are actually plenty of artists on YouTube that actually help me with my path, and even sometimes hearing strangers talking, I manifest that on myself, because I'm actually probably, I'm just making an example. Probably I was talking about something that actually I needed information more about, and the next thing, I go to town, and the next thing I hear strangers talking about the same thing, and then we're like, oh, those synchronicity, fuck. So I'm hearing strangers talking about the same thing that I actually was bothering about or even dreaming about. It means I'm actually aligning myself with the information that I actually need. And that information that I actually need, it cannot happen to me only. I, as much as my inner guidance is everything, but sometimes I do get information externally through people, through whatever that I'm growing to, whether it's a TV show or whatsoever, because sometimes you need that. People, even an artist, certain artists pop up in my head, and then the next day, for example, I'm not a huge fan of comedian. I don't find them funny, or maybe it's just I have a weird personality. So I find myself gravitating toward Trevor Noah, and then I've googled Trevor Noah, and I was like, oh wow, sometimes you just need someone else's story. You need to understand what they went through, and then you get that aha moment. So I'm talking about my own spiritual path. So my own spiritual path, as well as and how I choose to define spirituality, it's whereby you're doing something that actually align with you, whether you end up doing a moon cycles ritual, or you end up doing a tarot reading that actually help, astrology, whatever that help you to your personal development, whatever that help you with whatever experience that you're actually having. Because as much as we are living, we are constantly solving our own problems. So anything that actually helped me to view life different, anything that actually helped me in whatever way, when I choose to, I know yoga helps me with calming myself. I know yoga help me with being present, being mindful, and it helps me to just more like at to clear, because I think a lot. I'm a thinker. I think a lot. So sometimes my thinking, my mind become my enemy. So I'm just talking about things that actually make sense. Some say it's a when you choose to. I don't like to limit myself in terms of, because I enjoy yoga now, I enjoy taking walks, I enjoy exercising. Now I'm just gonna limit myself, like this is the only thing that I'm actually, no, right now I'm actually interested in a lot of things, even Kegli spell work. I'm trying to do that, and like a lot of things I'm actually making more sense. So I'm open to learning new things that are actually because I am in a journey of self-development. I'm in a journey of coming back to me. So when I'm coming back to me, there are actually a lot of things beside my own inner guidance that are externally that are actually helpful in my own path. So now I'm just gonna go with the definition that I actually get on the internet. They define spirituality involve the recognition of a feeling or a sense or a belief that there is something greater than myself, something more to being human than sensory experience, and that the greater whole of which we are part of is cosmic or divine in nature. And they also mentioned that there are actually three types of spirituality. Mystic spirituality, so I belong the mystic spirituality, and the authority authoritarian spirituality. I believe that kind of spirituality is actually makes sense when we're defining religion, because it's authoritative. Like there is some sort of thing that you need to follow through. Like most of the time I find religion kind of like that. It has a lot of authority, and I don't do well with so much authority, so. And intellectually spirituality, obvious, because I believe we are mind, soul, and body. So I feel like intellectually obvious is talking about the mind, whereby we allowing ourselves to be intellectually aroused about certain things that actually making sense, or anything that actually allow us to have new perspective, to view life differently, whatever way you choose. Because I'm just defining my own way right now. I don't have any kind of definition. I'm just going through. It's service spirituality, because obvious, when you are in a spirituality journey, we are all here for humanity, right? So us being in a humanitarian, choosing to a career that just being born, it's all about humanity, being of service to others in a way or another. Which, just for example, if I study pilot, so I'm a pilot, so I'm my job as a pilot, beside being actually employed by my employer, it allow me to be of service, to make my passenger to reach their destiny where they want to be at, and it allow me to be of service to others. So I'm talking about self spiritually, but you can make any example, as well as a socially spirituality, because we are beings that are actually social. As introverted as I am, I'm aware that socializing is actually a good things to have, especially with the right people. Because as introvert, I know I don't react well with the company that is actually not genuine. I I freeze. I don't like being around people that may cause anxiety. So I allow myself to be surrounded by people that are actually right for me. So I'm talking about social spirituality, whereby as it also fit to religion, because religion, it happened, they have certain way of meeting. For example, in church, they have certain things that actually they do in some certain, they organize whatever that allow them to be together and share, they say, wisdom of God. I don't know, I've never been that much deeply into church. Like, it's never felt right. So I was just a ghost, like a skeleton that is sitting on the church, having nothing but just listen. So I have no knowledge that much, but I hear people talking about the wisdom of God, when they went to church, certain verses and all that. Um, so I'm more of a spiritual person. When they define spiritual person on you on the internet, they talk about being a person whose highest goal is to be loving to oneself and others. So as I said, I'm on a spiritual path, which is personally. So in my own personal path, I realized we're actually one. Um, you are me in another version. We actually mirrors to one another. We mirror one another. That's why you find sometimes irritated with certain behavior, and you'll be like, oh, this person is so annoying. And maybe it's because you have something within you that you need to work work toward to, or maybe you have some certain demons that someone will actually remind you of. It can be anything. People actually mirrors that person who act like they know everything, probably like that. Or maybe you have insecurities or feeling inadequate. That's why you feel like, oh, she acting like she know it all. That person is actually mirroring you, because we're actually one. It's us loving one another, knowing that if I hate someone, obviously I'm gonna get that back to myself, because I told the universe that I want this experience by hating someone. Even though you didn't say I want this experience, your action leads you to that, because what you are doing to other people is the same thing that you're actually doing to yourself. That's why I often talk about the importance of not doing revenge on other people. Let them revenge on themselves. Let them fuck their life on their own. So you know that's what I'm actually talking about. Now I'm just gonna go and talk about the difference. Okay, I've talked about the difference. I'm just gonna indulge on a religion now. So I'm just gonna find the meaning of it, because in my own opinion, a religion is a group. It's whereby you are guided, or you find guidance in other people's personal experience. When I say in other people's personal experience, because in the Bible, there are actually a lot of people that people get guidance from. For example, they talk about Matthew, they talk about Judas. I don't know the whole story about Judas. Um, like they talk about Judas, they talk about who are the other people on the Bible? Samson, they talk about, because I believe in the Samson kind of, because I think I actually once watched a movie about Samson, whereby they're mentioning that, in my own perspective, the way I choose to perceive the Samson movie, I realized that obviously they were talking about Samson, that his strength, he got his strength from his hair. He got one of the strength that not everybody, I don't know which tribe he was belonging to, and his strength, he needed to keep his hair long so that he can find guidance, and he can have a lot of physical strength to survive whatever. So for me, the way I view it as if, as it teaches other people to keep things that are actually, you feel like, to keep things to yourself, especially whatever that you are, your goals whatsoever. So religion is like that. You Other people experience, we have been told that Judas was what, I don't know Judas was what. So I'm just talking about, some sort of a group or organization. Because organization, it's whereby there's more than one person in it. It's a group of people who connect with God, source, spirit, the high power, through other people's personal experience. And in order for them to do that, obviously it's a group thing. So it helps. Most of them, they use Bible, they meet up with church services. I don't know, I believe every church has its own way of trying to meet up with their people. So how they define religion here, it's a belief in and worship of a superhuman controlling power, especially a personal god or gods. So this is a definition that I actually find here. And it also have 4 types of religion. They're talking about church, and the major type of religious organization are church, sect, or cult. And 2 types of church organization include the ecclesia, forgive me, I'm not good with pronouncing certain word, and denomination. So as I said, I've defined religion in the way I know, in a way that actually makes sense, because obviously it is some sort of like a organization, a group of people that you choose to have certain beliefs, whereby they know that they learn from other people's personal experience. They actually use certain rituals, such as even a Bible, some sort of a ritual, because it's something that it helps them to develop in a way. How? Because it makes sense to them. So the spirituality as well as religion is a 2 different thing. It's not connected. But other people, they use both spirituality as well as religion. It makes sense to them. For me, it doesn't. So I'm okay with not being religious, because it doesn't make sense. So, and yes, I'm actually I think I was nervous making this video. So yeah, so yes, I think I've covered what I needed to cover. So thank you for liking, for subscribing on my YouTube channel. I'm actually really grateful for the love and support that you're actually giving me. So, oh girl, me, the girl that is me, is actually happy. So yeah, it's it's a difference between religion as well as spirituality. So I've covered, and I also refer to some certain definition. So I chose to define in my own perspective, because why not? So I feel like I was not that prepared to make this video, but I tried. So thank you.